Hello, Tenno, and welcome back to the Void. My name is the Devil Shark, and I'm going to be taking you through a profile and a little bit of gameplay for the Warframe Nezha. Nezha is also a frame that can be used in place of Excalibur using the Radial Javelin build for runs such as Draco or defense missions, etc. So, let's get right into it. So, for my aura slot, I use Corrosive Projection. There are alternatives. You can use Energy Siphon if you really want to not have the dash there and put something else. You can also format it out for the ability to use Physique or Steel Charge. I personally prefer Corrosive Projection. I've got my Exilus adapter installed on Nezha, giving me the ability to put in one of the drift mods as my Exilus slot, utilizing Power Drift, giving plus 15% power strength and plus 30% chance to resist knockdown. And then with my regular mods, I'm using Blind Rage, giving plus 81% power strength and minus 45% power efficiency. I'm using Overextended maxed out, giving plus 90% power range and minus 60% power strength. I then use Fleeting Expertise maxed out, giving plus 60% power efficiency and minus 60% power duration. I add more range, giving me plus 45% power range with stretch. I also use Coaction Drift. This can be used in the Exilus slot, but I am using two, so I had to put it here. This gives plus 15% aura strength and plus 15% aura effectiveness, making Corrosive Projection more powerful, especially if you're solo. That helps out really well. Now, this one here is not a mandatory mod to use, so you can switch this out for another mod, say Natural Talent or whatever else would work in that spot for your gameplay. I haven't formed enough, so I'm using Regular Flow maxed out, giving me plus 150% power max. Once I form on one more time, I'll be able to use a Primed Flow. My next mod is Transient Fortitude maxed out, giving plus 55% power strength and minus 27.5% power duration. Now, the negative power duration from the Transient Fortitude and the Fleeting Expertise is absolutely key to this build. I'm running the Divine Spears build, which means I need as much strength as possible with as much range, while also not having any duration so that they don't stay impaled as long. So being down to 13%, I'm at the most negative duration I can be at. And what that does is the enemies just get impaled and then get slammed almost immediately. For me to be able to spam Divine Spears just like a Radial Javelin Excalibur spams his Radial Javelin. And finally, I use Intensify for the plus 30% power strength. All of this is perfect. Combined with a Trinity, your efficiency should be just perfect. But even if you're solo, it is still fine to have it at the 115. If you find that any of this is not to your liking, you can always change out, obviously, the Coaction Drift for maybe more of a different stat, or even subtract some strength to get more efficiency by maybe taking out Blind Rage in place of something else. So, that is my build. Feel free to modify it if you like to suit your gameplay. This is what I found that works. I've tested this build in sortie missions. I've tested it in Tower 1, 2, 3, and 4, defenses, survivals, everything. This build is perfect. So let's get into some gameplay here. Since I am going to be running solo, I've got energy restores installed for gear. We're going to try something. We're going to go to the Void. And we're going to do, say, a Tower 4 defense. I'm only going to do 5 waves, though, just to give you guys a taste. Always keep your warding halo active. It is amazing defense and also helps you in melee range. As you can see, all those enemies just got shot. They didn't even get a chance to get slammed. Obviously, in later waves, that will not happen. And it may take a few spears for them to actually get killed. There are other builds you can go with. There is a speed build, because with Nezha's anti-friction for sliding, Nezha's actually faster than Volt, even with his speed boost. You can also do a build around the Blazing Chakram. It's not the best, and it doesn't do the most damage. It's got a little bit of healing in it, but ultimately Divine Spears is going to be the best build. But you can balance it out if you feel to have more options, instead of essentially being a one-trick pony, like I'm doing. I have soloed T4 defense up to 40 waves, so it is possible. Now, most people come to the Void in a party, so if you are in a party and you say have a Frost in the group with a Trinity, it's best to stand right about here, because with Warding Halo, you won't really need to worry about having a Frost Bubble. And this is ultimately the best place to stand, because you reach the enemies when they, just before they come through the door, and you reach the enemies that are at the cryopod as well. Also, another reason for standing up there on that bridge is Excalibur is the frame that has the highest range amongst all the DPS frames. Nezha, Volt, Mesa, their range is not nearly as far as Excalibur, so you gotta stand a little bit closer. Again, I apologize for all the rambling. We're going to go ahead and extract.
We're done here. The extraction team will take over from here. Time to evacuate.
So as you can see, Nezha is pretty powerful. I personally haven't tried doing a Chakram build, but it could be potentially good as well. I do have a speed build, but I'm not going to do that here. But and whatever weapons you choose to use, that's all up to you guys. Any weapon's going to be good, especially if you're a Divine Spear build. I'm going to go ahead and show you the abilities here. As you can see, with all my stats, my Divine Spear, my impaled damage is at 1,326. The duration at which they stay impaled is 1.5 seconds. The power range, as I said before, is a lot less than Excalibur, so mine is only 44.65. I can increase that by 2 to 3 meters using the other drift mod that increases range by replacing it with the coaction drift, but I don't find it worth it for that extra 3 meters. And then the slam damage is 1,326, equaling a little bit more than Excalibur's javelin burst damage. So warding Halo, so this Wardus gets out of the way. My damage absorption for warding Halo is 2,955. The damage per second that it does to enemies that are too close is 276.25. The power range for my warding Halo's ability to affect enemies at close range is 4.7 meters. And when I activate warding Halo, if it gets deactivated, is 3 seconds of invulnerability. And there you have it. That's the Divine Spears build. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I apologize for all the rambling I did. Hope you enjoy the video. Like the video if you liked it. Comment if you want to make a comment or give some advice. Just let me know. Thanks for watching, guys.